माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय जय यमुनतीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुनतीरावनचारी जय यमुनतीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय जय यशोदनंदना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय व्रज जनरंजना जय जय यमुनतीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय श्री राधा माधव की जय मंत्रा श्री श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय श्री श्री जय शील प्रभुपाद की जय शील गुरुदेव की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति। So we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, 646. तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य निर्हरणादीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितोऽभवत्। तस्य his nirharana adini funeral ceremony samparetasya of the dead body bhargava, O descendant of Bhrigu, Yudhishthira, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Karayitva, having performed it, Muhurtam, for a moment, Dukkitaha, sorry, Abhavat, became. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Abhayachan Narendra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O descendant of Bhrigu, repetition, right? Yeah. O descendant of Bhrigu, Shaunaka, after performing funeral rituals for the dead body of Bhishma Deva, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Please hear the purport. Bhishma Deva was not only a great family head of Maharaj Yudhishthira, but also he was a great philosopher and friend to him, his brothers and his mother. Since Maharaj Pandu, the father of the 5 brothers headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, had died, Bhishma Deva was the most affectionate grandfather of the Pandavas and caretaker of the widowed daughter-in-law Kunti Devi. Although Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the elder uncle of Maharaj Yudhishthira, was there to look after them, his affection was more on the side of his 100 sons headed by Duryodhana. Ultimately, a colossal clique was fabricated to deprive the 5 fatherless brothers of the rightful claim of the kingdom of Hastinapura. There was great intrigue common in imperial palaces, and the 5 brothers were exiled to the wilderness. But Bhishma Deva was always a sincerely sympathetic, well-wisher grandfather, friend, and philosopher to Maharaj Yudhishthira, even up to the last moment of his life. He died very happily by seeing Maharaj Yudhishthira to the throne. Otherwise, he would have long ago quitted his material body instead of suffering agony over the undue sufferings of the Pandavas. He was simply waiting for the opportune moment because he was sure and certain that the sons of Pandu would come out victorious in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, as his lordship Sri Krishna was their protector. As a devotee of the Lord, he knew that the Lord's devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. Maharaj Yudhishthira was quite aware of all these good wishes of Bhishma Deva, and therefore he must have been feeling the great separation. He was sorry for the separation of a great soul and not for the material body which Bhishma Deva relinquished. The funeral ceremony was a necessary duty, although Bhishma Deva was a liberated soul. Since Bhishma Deva was without issue, the eldest grandson, namely Maharaj Yudhishthira, was the rightful person to perform this ceremony. It was a great boon to Bhishma Deva that an equally great son of the family undertook the last rites of a great man. Jai Srila Prabhupada Translated Purport Ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vishnupada Krishna Vishnavutra Srimate Mahavishnu Swami Namo Vishnu Pada Vishnu Vishnavutra Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarani. Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji. So nice to see you all this wonderful morning, and especially with this so beautiful purport. As always, Prabhupada is in his own elements when he, writes, and especially this particular chapter, such an amazing chapter. One thing I remember, my spiritual master said that in every canto, 9th chapter is very important. It happens to be. Mostly either it is a prayers or it is something to do with a very important philosophical discussion or whatever, So something which he found out in every canto. It happens to be coincidental, maybe, I don't know. But this chapter is one of the best chapters in the all of Bhagavatam, if you have to see it that way, because Bhishma Dev lived such a glorious life. It is glorious. Not while living, not many understood his glories, but when he was living, it was all revealed to the whole world. And it is in such a way that there is a lot of intricate dealings that happens between Krishna and his devotees, pure devotees, and we will not be able to understand this without the help of the wonderful transcendental purports of Srila Prabhupada. You see, because whatever happens is normally when you see only from Mahabharata or from, from the others, generally from a superficial perspective, we see Bhishma Deva as someone who fought on the wrong side, or who had he was a right man on the wrong side, or all kinds of things we may tell. But when we go through this beautiful purpose of Prabhupada, you will understand what is the reason why Bhishma Deva fought on the other side. Prabhupada very clearly states in the purport that, one of the purports in the earlier verses, that Krishna forced or induced Bhishma Deva to fight on the side of on the Kauravas in order to show that even the best person cannot win by fighting against the dharma. So he needed somebody to play that role, the thankless job, we say, the manager's role is always the thankless job. All the good things you do, nothing will be reciprocated. But one small thing it missed out, then that will be magnified so much that you feel like, why the hell did I take this role? So like that, there is so many challenges that Bhishma Dev had to face. And right from the beginning till the end, if you see, people are fighting between each other for the property that rightfully belonged to Bhishma Dev. And he was fighting for them to get to enjoy that. His property, he was fighting for the sake of the others, for them to enjoy his property. Who will be more a tyagi, a person who can sacrifice, So this is where we started off in a small way, but then what happened was we could collect close to 35 beautiful transcendental qualities of Bhishma Dev from hidden inside the purports, inside the word for word in the translation. This is how, if we do the deeper study of Bhagavatam from the perspective of learning, good qualities are the practically applicable, Vyavhar mein lana, Nana is small, young one. Even from young one, if it is Chaturbhat, we should, if it is, he would very humbly say, oh, you are good at computers, you are my computer guru. Ramanujacharya had so many gurus for each of those things. He didn't care whether they are older or whether they are grastas or brahmacharis or sannyasis, all those kind of classifications he was not looking at. Right? That is why this 24 gurus, he takes from even from a pigeon, from a hawk, from everywhere he is taking lessons. So when we told about this 24 gurus to my Guru Maharaj, I said, why 24 gurus, man? You have 24 million gurus. Why only 24 gurus? You see, everywhere you will find gurus. And that is Bhagavatam. You see, Bhagavatam, it takes us through this nice, interesting journey. And as you go along, apart from the Leelas and everything, towards the 11th canto, you will see the clear objective of Bhagavatam is so clearly established that at the end of the day, we have to see Krishna everywhere. That is the goal of Bhagavatam. Irrespective of whether it is positive, negative, favorable, unfavorable, encouraging, discouraging, whatever it may be, learn to see Krishna in every single circumstances. Harihi sarvatra sarvada. Parishit Maharaj saw Krishna Brahmana boy's curse. That is how he got Srimad Bhagavatam. So in adverse circumstances, if we try to see Krishna more, then Krishna is with us more intensely. He thinks of us more intensely. That is the beauty here. Now, we don't want to always wait for a favorable circumstance to do devotional service. In adverse circumstances, our bhakti should be even more tivra. And that is what Bhishma Dev did. And that is the glorious example we learned from Bhishma Dev. And that is why he is respected as the best elder in all of the bhakti cult. He is the eldest when all of them were there. And he was the last to leave from the battlefield. All of them still was catching hold of his life air. When that bed of arrows he was lying down, he was not lying down. He had to. It's not like we are sleeping in a cushion bed. We don't get enough sleep and we feel like rolling a bit over. Just before Mangalarti, just 5 more minutes. Imagine if you are asked to lie down in a bed of arrows and Prabhu, you should get up for Mangalarti. How can I sleep first of all to get to Mangalarti? We can't even be alive, right? There was not even 2 inch finger gap between one arrow and the next arrow when Arjuna shot the arrows in Bhishma Dev's body. It means his heart was also pierced through by the arrow. Where was he sustaining his life? You have to ask this question. Right? His liver, his kidney, everything, whatever was there, the bodily parts, it was all pierced through by arrows. And where was he sustaining his life? Where? How was he living? And it was like a few months. See, it's not just that 18 days of battlefield. After that, the 64 crore people who died, they had to do the Antim Kriya for all of them. And who was where, who was whose father, whose son, we don't know. They don't know. They had to just put it in bulk like this. Our corona thing happened. This is very tiny. That is a big massacre, huge massacre. And people were coming from different places in the world, and there's nobody to go back and tell what happened because everybody died. And in such a massacre, it took a few months for them to sort out all these things. And Bhishma Dev was not telling, hey, I am about to die. Come on, you finish them all later. They're already dead. I am alive. Come and do my thing first and then go there. He didn't say. He was patiently waiting. That is a sign of a pure devotee and an elderly statesman. He didn't want to put his priority over others' priority. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj is already suffering. He is crying. And he has to take care of all others over there, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, Kunti Maharani, all those who are in the palace. And in between, Bhishma Dev is lying down. Why he is lying down? Prabhupada says beautifully here in the purport. He could have easily left, like he says so nicely here, being such a great well-wisher. See, when we ask this question about the elders, Maharaj, it's very difficult to find elders because being elder, naturally, unless and until some abnormal cases happen, they are bound to pass away before us. And once they leave, we don't have any elders to give us guidance or support or even well-wisher. Because by default, those who are elders, especially parents and our well-wishers, they by default they want our good only. They only want our good. Just that their ways may be different. They don't want us to suffer or go through hell. But they think that he is not following my way. Sometimes at home, those who are not, they have their own things, they would want it that way. Best example we have is Prahlada Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. Right? How did Prahlada Maharaj react to him? When he was, one side we have Hiranyakashipu with all anger and everything, showing all his anger, rage and everything upon this very soft boy. This small boy, very soft-hearted boy. But how did Prahlada Maharaj react to him? He was folding his hands and he was talking to him. Message was very sharp, but speaking was very soft. This is the thing about Prahlada Maharaj. We have to learn the best preacher in our sampradaya. So, but he did not, protest or shout at him or scream at him and call names. He didn't do that. When Prahlada Maharaj was not doing this to his father. He was just simply, in the heart we may be different in this thing, but at least we should. I have to be humble to you. I have to be respectful to you. That is the first and foremost requirement whenever we interact with the elders. Anybody who is an elder. So that way, our namrata purvak, namante phalino vrikshaha, namante gunino janaha, shushkam cha kashtam cha, vidyate natu namyate. That tree with all fruits, more fruits, it bends down naturally, isn't it? Same way, namante gunino janaha, those who have good qualities, they naturally bend down, they bow down. Shushkam cha kashtam cha, that tree which does not have fruits, which does not have any flowers or anything, it stands erect like this. I am the one. Vidyate natu namyate, that which does not bend, it will either be broken by the powerful winds, or somebody will come and say, this is fruitless tree, no use, just cut it for a log of wood, for fire and firewood, and we will just, or something, and take it away. This is how we are also destroyed by the time, So we need to be namante, namrata purvak. We have to be very humble in our attitude. Humble does not mean external thing alone. External is also required, but in the heart of hearts, we should feel humble. We should be humble. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is the best person who understood the best intentions of the person. When we are humble, we don't look at the behavior of the person. We look at the intention of the person, the other person, you see. Normally what happens, we think that, hey, he is not humble. But actually, I am not humble. That is why I am seeing his behavior and trying to find some fault instead of looking at his intentions. One may be, Prabhu, come, do this. He may say like that. Hey, what is this? He is not even having basic thing. You don't know who I am. I am coming from so. I have so much, by my profile you have seen. You are talking like this to me. Prabhu, you have any Vaishnava etiquette? Have you learned this thing? Who is your guru? Who is your guide? Have they taught all these things? All these thought comes because we are not humble at all. Ku kalevar arpitam, the demigods pray, what are we proud of? This is just nothing but a bag of 20-30 kg of urine and stool, nothing else. This is what Bhagavatam says. I am proud of my tummy, my this, it is like Govardhan Parvat. Sometimes, but I feel I am proud of it. But actually, I am not able to bend down because of that. We can't see our own lotus feet. If you want to call it. Prabhu, I want to see your lotus feet. I myself am not able to see my lotus feet. This bending down is very important. The more we bend down, the more tummy will go away. Isn't it? All the fat will go away. Isn't it? We don't realize that. I was in Japan for 1 year. I didn't see even one single person with a tummy. Up to 80, 90 years, they are all so lean and thin and very active. And they are all going by bicycle, walking every day along the path, And so nice and blissful. They always smile at you. And they are not devotees. They are just whatever they are. I mean, devotees in the sense, in their own way. Yeah. I mean, this Namrata is very important. That's what both Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhishma Dev exhibited. And Bhishma Dev, he didn't ask for any respect from anybody throughout the thing, even though it was all his property. And secondly, he was with, that is, and Yudhishthira Maharaj, wherever he was respecting Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev, wherever he was wishing well for the Pandavas. He was praying for the Pandavas. He was hankering for their for their well-being. You see, this is what is more important. It is not that we have to be always around to be the well-wisher. We think that, one who are, we always say this, out of sight, out of mind, right? Because when people go away, we think that he is busy with so many things, whether he remember or not. No, they remember wherever they are, they still remember us. Like Krishna always remembers his devotees. Same way the devotees always remember, are well-wishers for everyone. And Bhishma Dev was such a devotee. And because of that, you see the difference between Duryodhana and Yudhishthira Maharaj. All through the life, Bhishma Dev was just next door to him. Duryodhana did not go even once to consult with him, with his grandfather. Only time he went was, you have to fight for me in the battlefield. I need your help. Diplomacy. Apart from that, he didn't go at all. So what is the use of being near to a pure devotee if you don't get their wisdom, get access to their wisdom? He's ready to give. Bhishma Dev, Vidurji, they were all ready to give him. But he was not listening to any of them. Whereas Yudhishthira Maharaj never stayed with Bhishma Dev for a long period of time. In a small young boys, that's the only time they had the association. After that, it's all like, one after other, like we go for yatra. Like that, this one was, that one was, back to back, something or other kept. And finally, they meet only in the battlefield. So, very small time period he had with Bhishma Dev. But see what he got. He got the entire what do you call that, as we say, knowledge transfer in our thing. When somebody is leaving, they download their entire knowledge bank, no? So he downloaded the entire knowledge bank and he was giving to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and Krsna is the network through which the data transfer was happening. He made sure that both of them meet and ensure that the entire, not only the knowledge, it is the behavior, the bhakti bhav, all the things that Bhishma Dev had, he deposited it in Yudhishthira Maharaj's heart. For that, Krishna arranged this situation. In order to arrange that situation, he has to minimize his own position. That is the greatness of our Krishna. He was trying to advise Yudhishthira Maharaj. It should not be that, see how Krishna is playing the trick here. Krishna could have directly said, you go to Bhishma Dev and get the knowledge. But no, he and Vyasadev tried convincing Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is completely rejecting everything. And he is giving his philosophy to counteract Krishna's philosophy, Krishna's conclusion. So Krishna says, okay, I am defeated. And then he says, okay, you don't believe me. You won't believe me because familiarity breeds contempt. Now you go to your grandfather. You love your grandfather very much. No, he is leaving. Go and get the knowledge from him. So here, Adbhuta Karmanaha, he is acting in such a way that Yudhishthira Maharaj will not, he is telling from Yudhishthira Maharaj's heart, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Why? Because he wants Yudhishthira Maharaj to listen from Bhishma Dev. Why? Because throughout the lifetime, Bhishma Dev had so much wisdom, so much goodwill for everyone, but his thing was like, a lamp inside a closed thing. Nobody knew. And so he arranged for this whole thing. Specifically, he arranged for this situation by putting himself, his position, minimizing his own position, so that Bhishma Dev's glory will be heard all over the world. And he also arranged, all the people came. No WhatsApp, no Facebook, nothing. Everybody came. As soon as they heard that Bhishma Dev is going to leave, they said, okay, let me come. And they all surrounded. And then they heard the beautiful transcendental wisdom that Bhishma Dev is speaking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And not only that, after they see what Krishna arranged for it, the best person should be given the best honor. So the best devotee, the grandfather and grandside, even though, see, this is the beauty. My Guru Maharaj always used to tell us that don't question Krishna. He has all plans laid out very clearly. Whenever it has to manifest, it will manifest. We just have to be patient and continue with our seva and sadhana. That's it. You should know suddenly something. See, our Rajkot temple, it was started when halfway through when Maharaj was with us. And almost it felt like it was going to complete and Maharaj left. And we thought that within a year or two it will happen. But few years we couldn't get the Lakshmi to proceed further. It was kind of very slowly it was moving. And in the meantime, devotees were not really disturbed that, oh, this is not happening. Should we go and collect? Should we go and... Maharaj said one thing very clearly, simply sit and do your Mangalarti, do your chanting, do your Bhagavatam, and then whatever seva you can do, you do. Don't be agitated or anxious. Tanmaya apaditam hi agre yanmam pratyate bhavan. Krishna is telling to Brahma. Don't ma veda garbha gas tantrim sarga udyamam avaha. I know you are worried about the creation. We are all worried about our temples. Whether it is Khargar temple or Thane temple or whatever place it may be. We are all worried about this thing. But the thing is, it will all happen at the right time and through the right people, who Krishna chooses. We don't have to worry about the whole thing. We just have to keep doing our seva and sadhana. So here, in due course, our temple got constructed and without disturbing anybody, without agitating anybody, without frying anybody. And standing there. Now suddenly people come and say, hey, so huge a temple standing here. Same way with Pune temple. It just came up. But it had to happen at the time when Krishna wants, not at the time when we want. Why? Because Krishna is time. We are not time. We are bound by time. Right? So see, Bhishma Dev he was not married. He didn't have any issues. In spite of that, he got the best Antim ceremony. And by the best person. This is what Krishna arranges. So we need not worry about, oh, when I die, people should be around me, chanting for me. Don't you think others have any other job to do? They have their chanting to do. I mean, if they come, it's well and good, But I should not be hankering. Once Maharaj told us that, the best lesson we can learn from Dhritarashtra is that we should learn to die. We should hanker to die where nobody cares for us. That way, you don't have the pride of being surrounded by people when we are chanting, when we are dying. When they come, if they come, that is well and good. That is also arranged by Krishna. Only thing we should pray for is, Krishna, please somehow or other, anayasena maranam, vina dainyena jivanam, dehi me kripaya Krishna, tvai me bhaktim achanchalam. I should die instant death, anayasena maranam. Then second is, vina dainyena jivanam, without extending your hand for begging, I should live my life. This is the second important thing that we should learn. Third thing is, dehi me kripaya Krishna. As long as this soul is inside this body, please Krishna, tvai me bhakti, achanchala bhakti is all I want. We want Sangha, but we can't enforce our desire upon others. This is the point, We don't want to push that, Prabhu, please come when I am dying. I will come when you die. How can it be possible? Only one person can be alive. You die means then you can't come to my death. So we are all together when we are hale and healthy. We are all together. This consciousness has to sustain till our last breath. This is all we want, right? So Bhishma Dev was not hankering that I want the best this funeral ceremony. I want this person to do it for me. Nothing of that sort. But Krishna arranged everything. Why? Because leave everything in Krishna's hands. He will take care of it. If you want to take everything in our hands, Krishna will leave it. He will not hold on. He is not like he will not snatch away from us. He will say, okay, you have it. Then we have to focus on everything. So this is the thing we should learn from. So much to learn from Bhishma Dev. Being a well-wisher. See, getting a well-wisher is so difficult. What is the best way to get a well-wisher? By we ourselves being well-wishers to others. When we, irrespective of what they... See, Bhishma Dev did not show any partiality between Yudhishthira Maharaj and Duryodhana. He was well-wisher to Duryodhana also, but he didn't realize Bhishma Dev's well-wishing attitude. His heart. So he only wanted to utilize Bhishma Dev to the way he wanted. Even from Krishna, he wanted Narayana only. He didn't want Krishna. Right? So we have to learn this very, very important point from Yudhishthira Maharaj and Bhishma Dev, that we do our devotional service in such a way that it is not disturbing anybody, but it intends, and it helps others be inspired to take devotional service more seriously, without ourselves pushing it on them. Bhishma Dev did not push his devotional service to anybody. Imagine if he has pushed his devotion, he went and preached to Dushasana and Duryodhana and Shakuni, what would have happened? They would have banished him. But he was silently sitting there to make sure that the right thing happens, And he was so happy to see Yudhishthira Maharaj on the throne. That is the beautiful thing. We should be happy. Even if you are on the other side, we should be happy to see everybody nice situated. Even if they are materially progressing, be happy. Let them progress nicely materially. They are just little bit ahead of us they are just ahead of us in being contracted by Maya. You got the point? They are just ahead. They are reaching Bombay early, like that. They are reaching Maya early by progressing faster in material life. So we pray for them. Some association they are getting of Maya also. So I stop here. Any questions, comments, Prabhus, Matajis? I think it was supposed to be 7:30, right? I will leave it to you for questions. Any reflections, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhuji.
He was very sad before, and it took close to 2 months for Bhishma Dev to explain the whole thing to him. And again, muhurtam dukkhito abhavat. Is it?
That muhurtam is momentary, that grief is like, when we always have that thing, Prabhu. We experienced that when our spiritual master left also, that always we had the association. We thought he will be always with us. And every time his health will go down, and then after some time it will come up. So we thought that this time also it will be like that, but then he left. We experienced that because the body is the medium through which we communicate with the soul in this material world, So we are used to that association with that body, And when we feel that no longer we will be able to associate with that person in that form, in that body, whom we have seen, our mind is tuned to that, that dukkha momentarily happens. Especially when you have a very close relationship with someone, even though you know that that person is leaving, still when they leave, that pain will be there. But that pain will be overcome by realizing the fact that now I can communicate with that person only on the transcendental platform, not on a material platform. So it makes me all the more must. It is a must for me to be on the transcendental platform if I have to communicate with that person. You see the point? From bodily platform, I cannot communicate with that person who has left the body, right? He's in the soul form, whether he's in Golok, Vrindavan, or wherever. So how do you communicate with that person? Only on the soul platform, in the transcendental platform. So which is the best means to communicate with that person? Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Shabda Rupa form of the Lord by Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. When we chant, that is why we chant when somebody leaves, we can connect with the soul. So Yudhishthira Maharaj expresses this feeling, which is normally anybody would feel, and there's nothing wrong in that. Even Prabhupada also said that many times, that when the spiritual master leaves, how the disciples should react. It is not something you artificially impose upon yourselves, but it comes naturally, Prabhu. We had that experience. I never thought I will cry for my spiritual master, but it came at some point. When we are alone, we feel it. We remember the days, and I remember after my Guru Maharaj left, there are so many times I would implicitly I would just type the phone number, from the phone, and I will. After typing, I'll say, oh, I can't talk to Maharaj, then I will just leave it alone. So it used to happen like that, because when you have that relationship with someone more closely from the heart to heart perspective, it happens, Prabhu. So Yudhishthira Maharaj expresses that. And there's nothing wrong when we have to cry or feel the pain for it. If you don't feel the pain, only something is wrong. You mean to say we are not sensitive, right? In the sense, I cannot communicate with that person anymore. That vipralamba bhav is there, no? So how do I do it? I can do it only by raising myself to a higher platform. And that platform is what? That, okay, when will I get to associate with him? When will I, like the Eyanila Premadana, in that our Narottam Das Thakur, right? He's singing so nicely that when will I get a chance to meet our Sarup Damodar, our Goswamis and Ramchandra Sangamage, that one also is there. So this feeling of relationship should be there between devotees. If it is not there, then something is not right. You should feel it. Thank you, Prabhu, for that nice question. Any other questions, comments, reflections? It's like how it is expressed in Bhagavatam. After Bhishma Dev left, everybody was silent. All the sages, saints, everybody, like the birds, After the morning they chirp for the prasadam or whatever, breakfast. And then after some time they just completely quiet. It feels like we are all experiencing the departure of Bhishmadev here. This is the beauty of Bhagavatam, Prabhu's Mataji. It gives all emotions, it's not just one. But even in that dukkha, we experience joy. We are laughing. Even when last moments when Maharaj was living in the Bhaktivedanta hospital, he would crack jokes. He would make fun. And then the devotees would think, Prabhu, Maharaj, are you patient? It doesn't look like you are a patient. You are cracking jokes about yourself, about others. So that's how we take. Once recently Devakinandan Prabhu was telling this nice thing. We have heard this earlier also, that Maharaj went to Singapore once and he goes to this ocean. He likes to walk in the morning time. So there are benches there near the shore. So he lied down and just a 5 minutes nap, something he took, and then he got up and he said, how nice it is to sleep, rest. You feel also relaxed. So death is also a long sleep. So how nice it will be to experience death. Like a sleep. It's like a sleep for a long period. So why don't we enjoy death instead of fearing death? Maharaj, this realization is too much for us. But that's how our acharyas give us such beautiful perspective to us. Bhishmadev was like that, and Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishmadev. He wanted the whole world to know Bhishmadev's glories. That's why he's in the Mahajana list. We don't want to create things like, Bhishmadev was like this, Bhishmadev was like that. Krishna doesn't see. What's your problem? He says, Sadhu eva sa mantavyaha. I am seeing that person is sadhu, and I am the one who is supposed to consider someone whether he is a sadhu or not. What are you inspecting about? You just accept. When somebody is sadhu, I am telling somebody is sadhu, accept he is a sadhu. When I am telling he is not a sadhu, say, okay, he is not a sadhu. Later I will come back and say, no, he is a sadhu, accept he is a sadhu. So, this is how, we go with Krishna. We are always happy. And whatever Krishna says, Arjuna says the same thing. Krishna, okay, you are saying Karma Yoga is best? Okay, Karma Yoga is best. No, Karma Yoga is not best. You go to Jnana Yoga. No, okay, Jnana Yoga is best? Okay, Jnana Yoga is best. Finally, Bhakti Yoga is best. Okay, okay, Bhakti Yoga is best. Okay, Bhakti Yoga, I will accept Bhakti Yoga is best. So, thank you, Prabhu's Matajis. I think it's such a nice, beautiful morning, and so beautiful a verse to meditate on, because we all have to die. And the best way to die is in how Bhishmadev died. Bhishmadev left. He is teaching us, preaching the glories of Krishna, and remembering Krishna. These two verses are so beautiful. All the verses in this chapter are beautiful. And there's 2-3 shlokas are really beautiful. Maybe you can bring it up for, we can all recite together before we close. It is, see how he had a command over Krishna, 1:9:24, if you can get it up. Amazing shloka. We can remember these shlokas and many times you can meditate on it, then we will know the glories of Bhishmadev. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. 1:24, Prabhu. Kale Varam Yavadidam Hinomyaham. Prasannahasarunalochanollasan. Mukham Bujodhyanapatas Chaturbhujaha. As we sing very slowly, it will be even more tasty. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham. प्रसन्नहासारुणलोचनोल्लसन् मुखाम्बुजोध्यानपतश्चतुर्भुजः. He's so beautifully saying, Sa Deva Deva, O Krishna is Deva Deva, Bhagavan Pratikshatam, you please wait. He said Pratiksha, no? So he's saying, you please wait. Why? Because you have given me a service now. Now I cannot live on my own. You have given me the Ichha Mrityu boon also. But you have given me a service to give all the knowledge to wisdom to my Yudhishthira Maharaj, your dear devotee, who is going to take over from here on. So you please wait until I finish the service. So this is how he commands Krishna. Devotees can command Krishna. When we are really absorbed in service, you will wait. Yamaraj will not wait. Yamasya karuna nasti. Kalakshepo na kartavyaha kshinam ayuhu kshane kshane. Yamasya karuna nasti kartavyam hari kirtanam. Only way to make Yamaraj wait is kartavyam hari kirtanam. Kalakshepo, don't waste your time. As it is wasting, you're going away. Why you are wasting time? As it is getting wasted. On top of it, you don't have to waste. Kshinam ayuhu. Moment by moment, it is going away. Yamasya karuna naasti. Yamaraj does not have any karuna. He will not come and wait for your, I will just go bring some money from bank, No, the accounts I will take care. Don't worry. From here on, all accounts are frozen, like Russia, they are freezing everything. Krishna says, even if you go to bank, your account will not be, you can't operate it. Yamasya karuna naasti. How do you get his karuna? Kartavyam hari kirtanam. Only by ayuhu harati vaipumsam, he cannot take even one moment from our life. So Bhishma Dev, because he is doing devotional service, he is doing preaching, he is doing seva here, Krishna had to wait. Even Krishna had to wait, what to speak of Yamaraj. Yamaraj cannot come, Krishna has come to take him. So Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomyaham. Kalevaram, this is the varam of Kali. Benediction of Kali is our body, this boon. Kali also gives us boon. What is this? This body is the boon that it gives. Full of Shariram Vyadi Mandiram. Dukkam, Shokam, Bhaya, Apaha, Shukha, Shoka, Moha, Bhaya, everything it gives along with us, with the body. If the body is not there, we have not to worry, right? At least if you are ghost, we don't have to worry. Others have to worry about us. When you don't have the gross body, right? If you are really soul, that is a different case. So this, when the moment body is come, it is Kali's varam, And I am giving up hinomi. That's why in the verb, in the 1946, in the purport, Prabhupada says beautifully, when he is relinquishing the body. If you read that verse, that he is not, the body is not, soul is not snatched away from the body. When Yamdutas come, they will have to snatch away the soul from the body. But his relinquishing means, see, this shirt is there, I will just take it out when I go home. Or we have slipper, we just leave it. It's just leaving it away. Anytime, it is at your command. Right? So, anytime he wants, he can give it up. That much is the command he had over the body. Right? Kalevaram yavadidam hinomi. I am leaving it. So, you please wait till I leave the body. Because you are worried about only my soul, not my body. So, I have to give up the body to come with you in the Satma. Then what he says, the third line is really beautiful. Prasannahasa, you are always smiling. So, show that smile. Arunalochana ullasan, ullas. When you go to picnic, ullas yatra, right? We go joyful. We don't have anything to worry about, just joy. You are always joyful. So with that joyful, smiling face, you please stand. You please wait till I come. I will come, don't worry. I have to finish this service which you gave. You only gave, I didn't ask. So you gave, you have to wait. So service, when Krishna gives, we should grab up with the full, with two hands tightly. So he's saying, Prasannahasa Arunalochanollasan. And where you stand, not somewhere else. Mukham, Bhujo, Dhyana Patas. My meditation path, my path of meditation. You please stand there. Because only from you all the mercy comes. Without you, I cannot do the seva. You have to inspire me to complete my seva. I don't have anything in here. I'm already suffering for so long, without food, without water, anything. I'm suffering for so long. But you are asking me, you are giving me the toughest service to do. Huh? Prabhu's Mataji, we can preach how much ever we want when the plate is full. Ask somebody to preach late in the night at 8 o'clock on a Nirjala Ekadashi day. Prabhu, we have a preaching program. You have to go 1 hour from here. Can you come, please? We want you to give Bhagavatam class for 2 hours. Leave me alone, Prabhu. I am counting the last few minutes of the of the thing to my Nirjal fasting I am doing. You please be merciful to me. But he is Nirjal for months together. And Krishna is telling him not just to speak on one sloka, but our Mahabharata has whole 120 chapters of this Shanti Parva, which is his teachings to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is a tough listener. He hears every single word and he is asking question on top of it. Every single word he has listens so attentively and again and again asking. If you see few times the same question will be repeated in different ways. And without any impatience, with complete joy, with very cheerfully Bhishmadev is answering. Why he is asking question repeatedly? Because he knows in the future people will ask such questions. That is why the right person, the right audience, the right speaker, Krishna puts together. And that is why Bhishmadev didn't give 5,000, 10,000 classes all through his life. Only one class he gave. And that is recorded for 5,000 years. We give hundreds and thousands of classes. It doesn't go into my own head what to speak of others. You see, this is the beauty, how beautifully he is speaking. And then next is before the prayers, 931 Prabhu. Vishuddhaya, we should recite this so nicely, Vishuddhaya, Dharanaya Hata Shubhas, Tadikshayaiva Sugata Yudhashramaha. Nivritta sarvendriya vritti vibhramas Tushtavajanyam visrujan janardanam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Vishuddhaya Dharanaya, no contamination of the material modes, completely in the pure Shuddha Sattva platform. Hata Ashubhas, all Ashubhas completely destroyed. Tadikshayai Vasu Gata Yudhashramaha. Just by seeing Krishna, all the pains in his body, everything went away. Nivritta Sarva Indriya Vritti Vibhramas. The Indriyas always create so many things. It should happen like this, it should happen like this. All the things are completely vanquished. Tushtava Janyam. Very satisfactorily he is leaving the body. Janyam means the body, right? The birth, the body that he got at birth. Tushtava means he is completely satisfied while living. So when we leave this life, we don't want to achieve so many things, so many glories and all that. We just have to live with a satisfied heart. That is all we want. When Prabhupada was living, his God brothers asked him, you have any desire left unfulfilled? He had done only 10th canto, some parts of Bhagavatam. He could have said that. Because he was always saying, I want to complete Bhagavatam before I die. Isn't it? That is my Guru Maharaj's order. He could have said, I did not complete the Varnashrama thing that he said, whatever. But he said, Koi chanai. Completely satisfied. Whatever Krishna arranged, we will do. If it has to be left half, let it be left off. For others will take care and do it. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji and Bhaktivinoda Thakur were not hankering that, oh, I could not go out and preach to the whole world. No. Whatever Krishna gave as the service, they did it with full heart and they were completely satisfied with that. I'm not looking at others, hey, he is giving better service, where he can get more glorification. I am doing hard work, I am getting less glorification. Everything is about glorification. Everything is about my name and fame. With that, we cannot come anywhere near Bhagavatam. So this is the only thing we should do. Like how Bhishma Dev left his body completely satisfied. Completely satisfied. Same way we should also practice in such a way that we all live very satisfied. Especially after taking prasadam, we'll be completely satisfied. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, शील गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय शील प्रभुपाद की जय, शील गुरुदेव की जय। Sorry, I don't know what to say. End time. I just kept going on after this thing.